got some good-looking people out there. Got George Clooney right over here. Say hi, George. Got Joey Kramer, the drummer for Aerosmith. Raise your hand right there. Jennifer Aniston, right over there. Good-looking people in the audience. Man, it's unbelievable. So, my career is around something called the mind. How many people have a mind? How many people have lost their mind? How many people don't want to even go into their mind anymore? Kind of fun to lose it sometimes, isn't it? Because you can blame it on the mind. So if you're doing something, if you're dancing on the table, having a couple shots, you just, I lost my mind. Right? Everybody stand up for 1 second. I know you want to stretch a little bit. Stand up and turn to a person next to you and look them in their eyes. Right above the nose. Look them in their eyes. All right, now I'm going to take the next 20 seconds and I want you to read their mind. Ready? Go. Some scary shit in there. Go ahead, another 10 seconds. Doing great. Some people are getting freaked out. Some people are laughing. And you can go ahead and sit down. Do not absorb anything from their mind, please. You know, we want you to go from where you're at to where you're going. We don't need any detours along the way. That's some scary crap, man. Because I kind of get it all up here, and man, you guys are awesome. So, if you go to a scientist, which I am not, do you know they can recreate the human body in the laboratory like 95%? Do you know that? Sure they can. All they do is break it down to the fundamental elements of the human body and they recreate it like Frankenstein. What's the one thing they cannot put in that body? The mind. No, they put the brain in there. The cerebellum, the frontal lobe. You can put that on a counter and chop it up. What's the one thing you can't put in that mind? So what is the mind? Is it inside or is it accessing something from the outside? Can you control it or can't you control it? Does it run rampant? Is it your adversary? Is it your ally? What if you could control it? Anybody know anybody with anxiety? Anxiety is wanting things to be different than they currently are. What if you could control that? You can. Right, George Clooney? You can control your mind. But most people don't. They know how to program their TiVo. They know how to do all kinds of stuff. They can dance in front of TikTok videos, but they don't know how to control their own mind. Once you do, the world is your oyster. How many people would like to be a millionaire? Why aren't you? How many people would like to have perfect health? Why don't you? How many people would like to have a loving, meaningful, harmonious relationship with somebody? Why don't you? If it is to be, it's up to me. And the most powerful component within myself is my mind. So I grew up in San Diego, California. I still live there. And Raul asked me to speak because Raul is a stellar individual, and I've met many of you fine people here tonight. It's an honor. We're going to have lifelong friendships. When I was growing up, I'm going to tell you a better story in a little while, but when I was growing up, I decided my first inclination was I wanted to be a motocross racer. Why? I don't know. I want to be a motocross racer. So saved up and bought me a motorcycle, and off I went to Carlsbad Raceway where they had like a big world-class track. And I looked up to this kid named Marty Smith, and he was a world champion. And Marty was out there racing with me, and I came back, and I said, Dad, I was racing. I looked over my shoulder, and Marty Smith was behind me. I said, yeah, son, he was lapping you. Well, what does that mean? He already went around once, and he's coming up to you for the second time. So, well, shit. So I was a master of last place. Why be in the middle somewhere, right? Just go for it. Yeah, be the first or last. I was the master. I didn't want to win anymore, right? So I wasn't going to be Marty Smith. So my mom goes, great, you're going to go to school, aren't you? I don't know. You're going to go, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? I don't know. So I figured out what I was going to do. I liked girls. A lot. So I can't throw a football. I can't play basketball. I can't hit a ball with a stick. Can't do it. I can't ice skate. I'm from San Diego. But they had a lot of girls. Well, that's pretty cool. And then I said to myself, let's look at the people that study quantum physics. They didn't have any girls. So I said to myself, who has the girls? It wasn't me. Then I saw this guy with this thing, and it was called a guitar. Craziest shit I ever saw. Right, Joey? Craziest thing I ever saw. He would hit a chord, it would go boom. Crazy. Go ahead and get me one of those things. So I begged my parents to buy me a guitar. And there was no YouTube back then. Does anybody go back far enough to remember like a Technics turntable with a Kenwood stereo with a little thing? It was a record. Anybody? It's a record. Help. And so what I did is I would drive my parents crazy because it would go. My mom just, Jesus, man, turn that stuff off. And I learned to play the guitar, and I started my own band. And I toured all over with my own rock band, eating bologna sandwiches, beanie weenies, rice-a-roni. What's the other stuff? So sitting in, a van, sitting in a crappy hotel room, until I discovered, not unlike motocross, that I wasn't going to be the next Guns N' Roses. Took me a little while. I was watching Axl Rose like I watched Marty Smith, but hey, man, it wasn't happening for me. Right? So then my mother goes, thank God. I had hair down to here. She goes, because you have to look the part, right? So thank God, man, you're not going to be a rock star anymore. Well, now what are you going to do? You're going to go back to school or go to school and be an engineer, an attorney, a doctor? I said, Mom, no, I've been thinking about it. I went down to the beach to give it some hard thought. And this older guy, about 40, sat down next to me, and we're talking. And he said, what do you do? I said, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I thought I was going to be Marty Smith, and I thought I was going to be Axl Rose, but that didn't work out too much. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I go, what do you do? He said, I'm an entrepreneur. And I said, is that somebody that studies bugs? What is that? And he said, I'm a man that dictates where my body goes 365, 24/7. Nobody else tells me where to go. I go where I want with who I want for as long as I want, whenever I want. Shit. How do we do that? You become an entrepreneur. All right? He said, you know what? If you want to know about water, you don't ask a fish. Because the fish doesn't know about the water because it's around them their whole life. If you want to know about the American free enterprise system, the last person you should ever ask is an American. It's around them. They don't even try it. People come from other countries, become millionaires here. Because they saw an objective, a dream, a vision, tenacity, drive, focus, commitment, discipline, and they hit the ground running, and they weathered the storm, and they made it happen. They got around people that believed in them, not people that crushed their dreams. Got to lose your friends sometimes. I said, wow. How do you do that? He said, well, first you build yourself. So I started working out. I went and took martial arts. I went and got a black belt. 6 years later, I was buffed out. Looked like this guy. So, not quite like that guy, but close. And so, I went out and I said, what do you mean by that? When I was speaking to the gentleman, he said, you build your mind first. I said, what do you mean? And he started talking about all of the normal, the Think and Grow Rich, Claude Bristol, Magic of Believing, Wallace Wattles, the Science of Getting Rich, on and on and on. I've got a library blow your mind at my house. And he kept mentioning the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind. Then I went to a party serendipitously in La Jolla, California. And it was a party. I don't know why it was a party, but it was a party, and if there was a party, I was going. So I went there, and there was a hypnotist there. I said, all right. Never saw one before. Blew me away what this guy could do. Blew me away, and he started mentioning that word again. Let me show you how the subconscious works. Let me show you. And he's doing all kinds of stuff. That was my aha moment to where I had to give up being a motocross racer, a world champion karate guy, and Axl Rose. And I decided that I'm going to be a hypnotist. So I went and told my mom, good news. What? I'm not going to be a rock star anymore. What are you going to do? I'm a hypnotist. She goes, oh, God. Now what? What's the matter with you? Check this out. I bought a house 3 times bigger than theirs, including my brother that was a PhD. Because my parents, great parents, I had good parents. I didn't have a troubled childhood. I did. My dad says, you know what, son, you're going to be pumping gas. I go, yeah, into my freaking Mercedes. That's where I'm going to be pumping the gas. So I had to buck it up myself and believe in myself and look at the man in the mirror, right? So I believed in myself. I put mirrors everywhere in my house. They thought I was a narcissist. No, I was just believing in myself. Walking around. It was up to me. Then I got around people that believed in me because I didn't know if I believed in myself. But you know what? I moved forward and I built one of the most incredible careers with the human mind. I decided if I'm doing that, I'm going for the gold medal. Who the hell goes to the Olympics and says I'm shooting for the silver? Now, if nobody's won a gold medal before, and they go to the Olympics, what's their mind like? I'm going to go try. I can't do the uneven bars as good as they can, but I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll make it. Is that the attitude they walk in there with? What are they shooting for? But they never won a gold medal. How's that possible? Because they went in with the intention of winning the gold medal, not the intention of trying to be in the Olympics, not the intention of giving it a good old shot so you can inoculate yourself with the old I feel good endorphins and serotonin and dopamine. They go in to win it. You're looking at a man that's built 3 international corporations with a high school education. Because I learned specialized knowledge they don't teach in college. Is there anything wrong with college? No. As long as it leads to the destination you want. You know how many people go down that road and then end up in a place they don't, 100 grand in debt where they don't even want to be? Because they never entertained, they were the fish. They never entertained what their own possibilities could be. And when you get around people like that, people like Raul, people like our other incredible speakers that we have, all of a sudden that energy is transferable. Did you know that thought is energy? Right? You know that that's energy? Say yes if you knew that, because I can't see it. Yeah. Okay. So you know that. You know that quantum physics can measure energy. And you know that thought is energy. Anybody doesn't believe that? You can Google it. So if thought is energy, and that pedestal is energy, and that bottle of water, and this watch is energy, then isn't it true that energy can interact? And isn't it true that if energy and thought is energy, then your thoughts need to be really on track? How many people out here, just say me, how many people out, not yet until I tell you what to say. How many people out here, I did that once, I was in Vancouver, Jim and I were doing a seminar, I go, how many people out here say me? Me? Not yet. Not yet. How many people out here would come up here right now? Sometimes I do it with a handheld, it doesn't matter, I don't need to do it. How many people would come up here and say, I have cancer, I have cancer, I have cancer, I have cancer? How many people would like to come up here and say that 20 times to the audience? How many? Then why the hell do you go home and say, I'm broke, I can't pay my bills, I'm broke, I can't pay my bills, I'm broke, I can't pay my bills, I can't fall in love, I'm lonely, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. Either words have power or they frickin' don't. You can't selectively apply them. I don't want to say cancer because I might get cancer, but I'm going to say I'm broke. So those words, those thoughts that are the genesis of those words now emit that energy, right? It's true. Whether you want to go spiritual, metaphysical, quantum physics, pick your lane. But you have to understand that that is energy. You also have to understand that the origin of that is your mind. Some people just have a natural ability to control their mind. Could be genetic, could be DNA, could be their environment. How many people by a show of hands, oh, now I can see. How many people by a show of hands have a fear? You're only born with two fears. You know what they are? Anybody want to guess? No, baby doesn't know what death is. You're born with sensory fears of falling and noise, and that's it. Falling and noise. You take a spider and you put it on a baby's chest, it plays with it, it thinks it's a toy. You're programmed three ways, primarily. Repetition, authority figure, and traumatic incident. Spider bites the baby. Which category is that? Traumatic incident. Fear of spiders. Authority figure says, don't touch the spider, it's dangerous. Don't touch the spider, it's dangerous. Don't touch it. Authority figure, repetition. From an authority figure, right? I live in San Diego. Anybody's been to San Diego? Let me see. Well, all you guys, well, call me up next time. Let's go have a party. All right. So in San Diego, I live in a high rise. So from my living room, I can see Tijuana, Mexico. Way over there. People freak out. That's Mexico. Yeah, it's right over there. When you go to Mexico, there's a 9-year-old boy. When you go to San Diego, there's a 9-year-old boy. The 9-year-old boy in San Diego has said, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers. Something bad's going to happen. See the girl on TV, she never came back. Don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers. Authority figure. Repetition. 2 out of the 3. You go to Tijuana, 20 minutes, half an hour from my house, the young man is told, you go talk to every stranger you see, because our life will be better for it. And they're following me, telling me chicklets for $6. They're grabbing onto my pad. I can't get the guy rid of the guy. Right? 180-degree programming 30 minutes away. What programs are going on in your head? What programs are going on in your head? What coping mechanisms do you use? To cope. What's a coping mechanism? To cope. That's what it is. What if you could control your mind? How many people would like me to make you a millionaire? How many people would like me to take you to a state of perfect health? How many people would like me to put you in a loving relationship? I can't do any of that. But you can. And you can. And you can. And you can. And I can show you how. I can show somebody how to use their mind at a level that would blow your mind. Just like somebody here may be able to show me how to salsa dance. I don't know how to salsa dance. Be a joke. You know how to salsa dance? How many people want to see? No, I'm kidding. You want to see me be the student for a second? Yeah, okay. So some people can teach you how to do that. Some people can teach you the piano. Some people can teach you to cut hair. Some people can teach you a lot of different things, right? But you have to be the willing student. You've heard it. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So how many people have a big, bodacious, huge goal that they want to hit? Big goal. Big goal. In neuro-linguistic programming, we call it a hug. Huge, unbelievable, great goals. I mean, big, almost to where they scare the hell out of you. Why not? Why not? Fear, I'm not good enough. What's the reason? So how many people have that big goal, and how many people are actually progressing toward it? Or does it just stay a dream? Oh, I'd like to have this. Right? Oh, I'd love to have this. Let me live vicariously through these people. I don't think I'm going to turn on lifestyles of rich and famous, because that's the other people. They're not from another planet. Or I'm going to watch somebody run with a ball. You know, you give somebody their own track on life. This guy's a super successful entrepreneur. You give somebody their own track on life, and they go, oh, this is good. This sounds good. I'd like to be rich. I'm going to go watch a guy run a football across the line. He's rich. When that guy buys a shirt with my name on the back, I'll buy one with him on the back. I can't do what he does, and he can't do what I do, and he can't do what you do either. So you're equal, unless you use a barometer of economics. So now we flip into a whole other construct. Oh, whoever makes the most money is superior. That's bull. That's bull. My philosophy, and what I can teach you today, is you never love anything that can't love you back. Because it's a one-way street, and you're going to do what? Take that energy, take that mind energy, and you're going to exhaust it going that way. There's no reciprocity. It's not coming back this way. You can't refill the cup because it's just an expenditure. So you can like your home, you can like your business, you can like your car, but don't love it. Only you can love your dog. You can love your goldfish. I guess it loves you back. I don't know. Never had one. But make sure that you understand it's a reciprocal loop. Has anybody ever heard, I'm going to hit you with a few things today, has anybody ever heard of an aura? Also known as an energy field. It just depends on what lane you're going down, right? Okay, so has anybody heard of Kirlian photography? Nobody? I can go Google that one, guys. Kirlian photography is actually a camera that can take a picture of any living object, including a plant, including your dog, including your grandma, and you'll see the aura. Go buy one. You'll see it. That validates, for the science heads out there, which I'm not, that validates, oh, it's going to be real now. Got to see it. Got to believe it. Got to be proven by science. Really? Well, guess what? It's there. What do you think makes up that? Starts with an E, energy. Right? So, if I were to take 4 people and put them up here, and have a person stand behind them and promise me they're not going to breathe, do you think that somebody could sense somebody standing behind them? What are they sensing?
Their energy.
What are they sensing when you're close to people?
Your energy.
Do you know you can use the subconscious mind to expand that 18-inch diameter around your head out 10 feet, out 20 feet, until the edges dissolve and it's completely out with practice, just like stretching for ballet or stretching with karate? Do you know you can use your mind at that level? How many people know what charisma is? It's not necessarily a Lambo and a Rolex watch. It could be. But is anybody, some of the most charismatic people in this world live in mud huts. But when they walk in a room, there's something about it. You're sensing that energy. Whether it be a religious figure, whoever that is, there's something about them. That's what you're shooting for. Because everything you want in life, higher power removed, comes from somebody else. You better get really good at communication. And you better get really good at using your mind to communicate. Because everything is ultimately a decision. So I'm going to teach you how to use your mind here in a second. Then I'm going to do a little exercise. I'm going to really show you how to use your mind. So, how many people have heard of the subconscious / unconscious mind? Okay? How many people know how to tap into it? How many people know what to do when you're there? Okay, good, good. I want you to picture for a second that, I'm going to give you a metaphor. There's a restaurant, and you go into the restaurant, and there's the, what do you call it, the girl that stands behind the podium. What do you call it?
Hostess.
Yeah, the hostess. There you go. So there's the hostess. And you say, Miss Hostess, I'm hungry. Are you going to get fed?
No.
You will not get fed. Why? No, she doesn't know what you want. So then you sit down at a table, and up comes the waiter, and you say, I'm hungry. You going to get fed?
No.
Why not? You don't know what you want. Then you say, I want a meat dish. Get a little closer, but you gonna get fed?
No.
Why not? I want a chicken breast. You gonna get fed? No, he doesn't know if you want vegetables or rice. Make a decision. So, the waiter takes the order and goes where? I want you to think of the kitchen as your subconscious mind. So you put the order in to the waiter. He took it to the kitchen, which is your subconscious mind. When do you get your order? When the damn thing is cooked and they bring it out. You get your order when it's ready, not when you want it. You can't sit there, you can tap your foot next to the chef all day long. It's not done yet. If you chase a 2-year-old, what does the 2-year-old do?
Run.
Is that how you chase things that you're after? Not to be confused with action. If you detach from a 2-year-old, what does the 2-year-old do?
Face you.
When you put the order in to the kitchen, you go back to talking about your friend's wedding dress, business, a concert that's coming up, your buddy. You have automatically detached from that order. But we try to, as humans, control everything. And we don't control the most powerful thing. And we as humans attempt to control every single aspect. And in reality, we're shackling our most powerful ally. How many people have heard, turn it over to God? How many people have heard, turn it over to the universe? How many people have heard, get the hell out of your own way? Turn it over. Let the unconscious mind, the energy that permeates your unconscious mind, back to quantum physics, which will do what? Intersect and interact with the universal energy out there and create what? The order that you will get when it's ready. But here's what people do. Hey, waiter, come here a second. What? You order the chicken breast with the rice. I'm going to change that right now. I want to go ahead and have the prime rib. You just started over. Now what happened? Well, I didn't get my order. You changed it. So you have to learn how to create whatever that outcome is with specificity. Exactly. I want a new car. You get a little toy car. You weren't specific enough. I want money. Here's some Monopoly money. Here's $1. You weren't specific enough. You need to learn to create specific goals and then program them into your subconscious mind and get out of your way. It knows what to do. It's like a radio station. It broadcasts, it'll tune in on a receiver, and that's fine. You don't need to control the broadcast and take it to the receiver. You get out of your own way because humans are self-limiting. They're very self-limiting. And I'm going to tell you, when you get out of here, we've got incredible speakers. When you get out of here, I'm going to tell you what happens to most. No offense to anybody. However, when most people go to a seminar, anybody been to a seminar or event before? Anybody listen to a MP3 program? Anybody listen to a CD program? Anybody listen to a cassette program? Anybody listen to an 8-track? All right. Just wanted to divide you guys up a little bit. All right. 8-track. So, it's a thing. All right. You can get them on eBay. It's under history. So funny, because I used to play on a Segway. I used to play on a Sunset Strip in my hard rock band back in the 80s, right? You know, up there with Motley Crue and Dokken and Great Rock. And so I was playing up there, and I went to watch TV one time. I had a date over. We were watching TV, and it said, you know, the story of the Sunset Strip or something, right? You know where it was? On the History Channel. My life is on the History Channel. I don't want to be on the History Channel with, you know, General Grant and, you know, the other people. I don't want to be there, right? So I live in a high rise. I get in, and people go like to each other. They go, "Yo, bro, what's up, man? Hey, what's going on?" And they look at me in the corner. They go, "How are you today, sir?" I just want a fist pump. I don't need help with my groceries. My catheter's not going to slip off. I just want a fist pump. Can't have it, right? So when you're looking at where your goals are going to go, here's what happens in seminars. Cassette programs, and back in the day, I know you know Nightingale Conant, and I've got, I think, everything they were produced. So when you go back there, something I used to call, and my own as well, something that I used to call the Cellophane Effect. You know what that is? You buy the tape course, and you never unwrap it. 5 years later, it's still got the wrapping on it. Because here's what happens at seminars. Here's what happens with courses. Here's what happens with all kinds of interaction for the betterment of humanity and you and yourself and your mind and your money and your relationships. Right now, today, you're going to hear some incredible inspiration, methodologies, tactics, strategies. And everybody's going to go click, 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 click. During lunch, click, 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 click. That's everybody talking. I'm fucking excited, man. She's going to be salsa dancing. Everybody click, 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 click. And then here comes the next day. You drop them on the table. They're like marbles. Some roll farther than others, but they all stop. until you program in that self-initiated inertia. It is to be, it's up to me. Right? You can't make your success contingent on any person, place, thing, circumstance, event. Because once you embed it in your unconscious mind, those interactions will occur. You have 5 physical senses. You also have a 6th sense. When you program your subconscious mind, you will overhear conversations that have to do with your goal. You could have heard them anyway at the adjacent booth, but now you've heard them. You will notice things on a bulletin board. Anybody ever hear of the reticular activating system? If you want a black Mercedes and you're pumped up, you're emotionalizing that thought, you're driving, you're looking at magazines, what do you see everywhere? What, do they have a sale? Or they appeared out of nowhere? That's the reticular activating system, which is an internal component of the unconscious mind that goes to work for you once you use it. It doesn't have to be a black Mercedes, it can be the love of your life. It could be what? 10 new business accounts. It could be what? A new home. It could be healing. Anybody hear of psychoneuroimmunology? Anybody ever hear that? It's a study of how the mind-body connection works. The ability for the mind to heal the body. When I had my private practice, I do mostly just events and masterminds now, but when I was seeing private clients, La Jolla Dermatology used to send me their wart patients. And they said, don't tell anyone you're going to a hypnotist, because it was really weird back then. So they sent their wart patients, 3 sessions, gone. They're burning them off, freezing them off, gone. Why? Their subconscious mind perpetuated the warts. Why? Because the thought is a seed. Emotion is the fertilizer on that seed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this person has warts. They go, I want these to go away. 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 What is he thinking about every single time he says that? Because the mind thinks in pictures. And he's emotionalizing what? Anxiety, trauma, frustration, fear. And the subconscious mind says, oh, you want more warts? I'll turn you into work man. So I'll spread those things from, it thinks that's what you want. So don't think of an elephant right now with a little 5-year-old boy with a spear in his hand that's on fire on the end, and a bird sitting on his shoulder. You just thought of every single thing I told you, right? Think of a dog. What kind of dog? Cocker Spaniel. Think of a dog. What kind of dog?
Golden Doodle.
Same words, 2 different images. So don't assume when you're communicating with people that they think the way you think. 1 word, different image for 2 people. Completely different images, right? So you need to learn, you don't need to do anything, but I would recommend that you learn to communicate using your mind as well. Using the ability to influence, using the ability to persuade, not manipulate, but using that ability to create a win-win outcome efficiently using that power that's already inside of you. Does that make sense? Okay, so when you have a goal, you want to plan it out. But I'm going to give you a couple things that create safety mechanisms for people. And what I mean by a safety mechanism is, here's what will kill an entrepreneur. How many people are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs? Yeah, great. Fantastic. I have the California license plate entrepreneur. No kidding. I've had it for 20 years. Personalized pay. I've been offered $10,000 by the guy that has the magazine in Irvine. Work quick on the draw, brother. I've got that. And so people say, that's on a nice car. But people go, Jim, that's a nice plate. I go, that represents sacrifice, my friends. I wish I could have a place like yours. You wish you could have a place like mine, but you're not willing to do what I did to get it. So scratch your lottery ticket. Play that slot machine. I saw Mildred O'Hara. She can't even think, and she won $19 million in Vegas on the nickel slot. So let me go play it. We want the easy path, right? We want it fast food, fast everything. We don't want to pay the price. But everybody you know that's successful, with the exception of the rare person that won the lottery, paid the price. They paid the price, right? So we've got to look at how many people would like more income. Great. I would like you to remove the EIR. Anybody know what that is? It stands for the electronic income reducer, also known as your television set. There's no BV in the TV. Well, Jim, I don't have any time, man. I'm so busy. I can't believe how much I hear that you say. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Really? Wow, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of things going on. Yeah, man, I'm so busy. Yeah, my girlfriend's coming over. We're going to binge out on Netflix. Anything good? Oh, yeah, you got to watch this. I thought you were so busy. I thought you were so busy. You either spend your time or you invest your time. One gives you an ROI, one doesn't. Somebody offers you a business opportunity for $1,000, you got to think about it. Offer a new Samsung TV, here's my credit card. Right? Got a TV, gonna get another one for the bedroom, another one for the kitchen, another one over here, so I can watch other people's lives rather than focusing on mine. I'm not against watching TV. Fine, watch it. Doesn't make a difference, but cut the excuses. You've got to understand that where you are is not where you can go. You're looking at a guy with a high school education, right? If I listened to everybody else, as well-meaning as they were, right, then I wouldn't have created what I created, and I wouldn't have gone through those stepping stones to get to where I'm at, right? And I'll tell you that you can make money two ways. You can make money by giving, or you can make money by taking. Both work. You make money by giving, you'll build a legacy. You make money by taking, it's a short-lived career. You're going to have to start all over multiple times. Because people aren't stupid. If you give to them, they'll give back, law of reciprocity. If you don't give to them, they don't want to be taken again. It is your interaction and your ability to influence individuals consciously and unconsciously that will propel you toward your destination. Right? So you want to look at, when you are looking at your subconscious mind, psychoneuroimmunology means healing the body with the mind. I'm starting an international company around that. I want to tell you why in a second. So the mind has the power to heal the body. The mind has the power to what? Pull in what you want. The mind has the power to create charismatic influence. The mind has the power to communicate more effectively. The mind has the power to what? Silence the internal critic. The mind has the power to interact with people. So why aren't you learning to use the mind? It's there. It's already there. So you want to learn to use it because it kind of just clears the clouds out and it makes it much easier. All right? If you acquire skills, you've heard this before? Here's $100,000 in a suitcase. Here's how to make $100,000, right? Everybody knows the clever answer. Which one are you going to take if I put them right here? Most people are going to take the suitcase full of $100,000. They're going to lose the money and they can't make it back. Most people, they say the skills, but if you gave them the choice, they're taking the money. Because the skills aren't intangible. The money is tangible. You need to see with vision and not with sight. You need to see what's coming and not what's there. If you see with sight, you will see what's in front of you. If you see with vision, you will see what is not there yet. Then you will integrate your subconscious mind, and you can do it. Do what's right for you. Do what's right for your kids. Do what's right for your family. And don't leave the most powerful component on what? On the back burner. So here I am, cruising along. Told you I had a little story for you. Here I am, cruising along, everything's great. So business is good, everything's good, having fun. Downtown San Diego is pretty fun, so I'm having lots of fun. And so, I had this weird feeling, like 5 years ago, like back here. I don't know what that is. And Jim over here and I were doing some seminars around the world back then. And so, I said, well, I'm gonna go to the doctor. I get stressed out. I don't get stressed out. I get stressed out. Okay. Can't find anything wrong. Okay. And then it started feeling more weird. So, all right, go back to the doctor. I did an MRI. Well, I don't find anything wrong. You're stressed out. I'm not stressed. Take some Xanax. I don't want any Xanax. You know, you're stressed out. I'm not stressed out. And then it started getting a little weird, like by my neck. And so I went to another doctor, a neurologist, and they took an MRI. And they go, I've got some, now you go in, anybody ever been there where the doctor comes in with a little pad and you're going, holy shit, you know? And so, you know, I don't want to be here. I mean, it gives me the heebie-jeebies being in those places. And so I come in, he comes in, sits down, and he goes, I got some good news and bad news. All right? Give me the bad news. Well, you've got a rare condition that almost nobody in the world ever gets. Great. Okay? So what's the good news? It's not going to kill you. Great. So what do I do? Well, you're just going to progressively become disfigured until your head looks like a potato chip. Well, that's not good. I'm single, and I'm a speaker, and I'm out. That doesn't sound like something I want. I don't want to be immortalized looking like a potato chip on YouTube. So I go, what do we do? Because, well, there's only one potential cure, and that is high-risk brain surgery. Come on. Me, I drink spinach juice. I exercise. I meditate. I eat rice with no butter. What are you talking about? Brain surgery? Yep. It's just going to get worse, bro. And I go, I've never seen anybody with that, because they hide in a closet, because they look like a monster. Oh, come on, man. And so, I had to think about what's going on. Finally, I came to terms with it, right? Like 5 months later, because it wasn't going to kill me. So 5, 6 months later, okay, shit, I'm going for this. You get your mind on track, I'm going for it, right? I set a goal, right? So I call Scripps Hospital down in La Jolla. We don't do that operation. So I call the next one, I call UCSB. We don't do that operation. So I call Sharp. We don't do that operation. Well, what the hell? Who does it? It's so rare, nobody does it. They go, we could do it. I go, I'm not going in and having brain surgery, but somebody looked at it on a YouTube video. I'm going, who's the world expert, man? I'll go to Kakistan, I don't care. Who's the world expert? Oh, a guy in Pittsburgh. That's all he does. People from Russia go there. People from France go there, all right. So I called up, made an appointment, packed a little bag by myself. Off I went to Pittsburgh, carved my head open, brain surgery. I made brain surgery, so I had brain surgery. Woke up, cool, I made it. Sat and ate heroin and Jello for about a week and a half in the Sheraton. I said, man, I gotta get back to San Diego, man. This is, because the pain was a little bit heavy. So I come back to San Diego, I made it, man. Another obstacle conquered for Jim. 8 weeks later to the day, I was making a protein shake. I felt a pain right here, fell over dead from a massive heart attack. Dead. There was a guy over at the house picking some stuff up, or I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. Rushed me off to UCSD emergency heart surgery. I had brain surgery, a heart attack, and heart surgery in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. So then, because that's not enough, right? Then a week later, my heart's doing something weird. And so I drive myself to the emergency room, and I go in there, and this cardiologist guy's there, and he goes, I don't know what's going on. Well, you're the cardiologist. Tell me what's going on. I don't know, man. We're going to have to stop your heart. Stop my heart? You spent all this time, I spent all this money trying to keep it going. You're going to stop it? Is it going to start again? He goes, well, we hope so, So I signed this paper, and he injects this stuff in the IV, and I went, bloop, bloop, and popped back. And I went home, and I said, you know what? Maybe the universe, maybe God, maybe the higher power is going to teach you to use your own protocols on yourself. Because you're teaching other people. So maybe it's time, you know how to create the subconscious for becoming a millionaire. Done that for a lot of people. You know how to do it for creating relationships. Done that for a lot of people. Your psychoneuroimmunology experience is getting rid of warts. Let's go for a big one. All right. So I did some of the allopathic stuff. And then I sat for 2 hours a day, hour in the morning, hour at night, and I tapped into my subconscious using my own strategies, which are developed self-hypnosis strategies. So I used that and popped to perfect health. It was not, this 5 years ago. Wasn't on any meds, nothing. Doctor would say, hey, these meds are working great. I threw them in the toilet, 3 years ago. So nothing wrong with me. Not one thing, as if nothing ever happened, as if the brain surgery never happened, as if the heart attack never happened, as if the heart surgery never happened. But I'm a little vain though. So when I popped up from the heart surgery, what's the first thing I did? Right? I can go to the beach here, man. So what the hell? I didn't feel anything. They go, you're lucky you came to UCSD. I go, I didn't come, and they just took me here, right? They go, UCSD is a research hospital. We went in through your right arm. It was like a mosquito bite. Went in all the way over, fixed it, boom, out of there in 4 days. You would have gone to another one, they just would have sawed you open. I go, okay, well that's good, because I want to go to the beach, right? I don't want people going, we're all vain, right? We know that, right? We care what other people think, right? I want to say, what's that? What happened? So nothing ever happened. So boom, I became a product of my own product. Now, experience breeds progression. Just as Raul shared, just as she shared, just as the other speakers share, it's their stories that create it. So this is a little bit later in life, 5 years ago, but I decided to start a company worldwide, with worldwide locations, on the mind-body healing connection. Because I had not only compassion, I had empathy. You know the difference? Empathy, you can feel what they went through because you went through the same thing. Compassion means, oh, that must be horrible. Which is still a good thing. But now I have the ability to know what I was really put on the planet to do, because I can teach people how to use the mind to heal their body, but also money's a social lubricant. I've been broke and I've been rich. Rich is better. Rich is better. I don't know. If I want a shirt, I go buy the shirt. I don't need a helicopter. I don't want one. But it's better because it's social lubricant that you can do. So what I want to do is everybody uncross your legs, put your feet on the floor. All right? That's your first test. Everybody, I can't see everybody if I could. There's always like the what do you call it? The resistance person. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not going to do it, Jim. Okay, so put your feet on the floor. I want to show you how to interact with your mind, but you want to use your mind. You want to get out of the way of your own mind. You want to suspend any analytical interventions. Anybody analytical in the room? Okay, forget those. Forget the analytical bit. Don't worry about it. We don't know what ligament's occurring. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and put your feet on the floor. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you have this power, which I already know you do, but I want you to imagine that you can actually use it, right? What you can. And I want you to go ahead and interlock your hands. And I want you to put your fingers in front of you and spread your index fingers apart, but keep all the rest of the fingers together. But your index fingers are apart, and hold your hands straight up in front of you. We got the rebel over here, man. No, right in front of you. How are you? So he's gonna beat me up later. So okay, so now we got that up front. Okay, now spread those fingers apart. And now what I want you to do, to the best of your ability, I want you to eliminate any outside distractions. If you hear a noise or music or a door, just do your best just to let that go in and out. And I want you to stare at that space between your fingers. And listen only to the sound of my voice. And when I count to 3, you're going to see that those fingers have a magnet. 1, 2, 3. Those fingers have a magnet, and the more you hear the sound of my voice, the more they draw closer and closer and closer together. The magnet now is magnifying to 5 times the strength. The magnet is so powerful that any attempt to inhibit it just simply goes away, and your fingers are drawing closer and closer and closer and closer. The magnet's getting 10 times stronger, drawing closer and closer and closer and closer. See them pulling together, pulling together, using your mind, pulling together, and when they touch, I want you to interlock both of your hands tightly when your fingers touch, and interlock those fingers as well around the hand. There you go, so that you can take the fingers and just make 2 hands locked together really tight. Extend your arms out in front of you, all the way and lock your elbows. If your hands are together, go ahead and lock. If your fingers are still apart, go ahead and lock your hands together and do what I'm doing right now. Fingers are no longer up. So lock your hands together, and I want you to press. Extend your elbows out all the way, right? I want you to press your hands together now. And I want you to use your mind's perfect ability to imagine that your hands are carved from a single block of wood. They are inseparable. It's as if they're super glued together. They're carved from a single block of wood. They're pressing so tightly together that any attempt to separate them simply allows them to do what? Lock tightly together. So at the count of 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, try to separate your hands. And the more you try to separate your hands, the tighter and tighter and tighter they lock together. 1, 2, 3, try to separate them now and find them locking tighter and tighter together. The harder you try to separate your hands, the more they lock tighter and tighter together. Try to separate them now hard and find them locking tighter and tighter together. Now, if your hands are locking tight together, I would like you to raise those clasped hands above your head. If they're not locking, you can put your hands down on your lap. And now what I want you to do is I want you to understand, what's your name?
Veronica.
Veronica, how you doing? How's those hands working? Pretty good? Well, you don't drive a stick shift car, do you?
No.
Okay, good. because I'm not going to separate them, so you'd have a hard time getting home. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say the word sleep. And when I say the word sleep, you're going to access your subconscious mind. You're going to access whatever it is that you want, money, relationships, health, and your head comes down, your body relaxes, and you go into a state of what? Self-control over the hypnosis. Look me in the eyes, and sleep. Go way down, relax further and further. How you doing, man? Sleep, and relax further and further down. How's it going? What's your name? Sleep. Further and further down. Just continue to relax further and further. And for my fellow speaker over here, how are you doing? Look me in the eyes, and sleep, and go way down, further and further and further. Now, for those people that are going deeper and deeper and deeper into a state of hypnosis, I'm going to give you a suggestion now. And that suggestion is that everything you want in terms of money will start to amplify. Everything you want in terms of relationships will start to amplify. Everything you want in terms of health will become better and better and better. How are you doing? Pretty good? And just look me in the eye. Hi, sleep. Everything you want will go deeper and deeper into your unconscious mind. Anybody that is holding their hands up, I'm going to count to 3. Everybody else stay asleep. Anybody's hands are above them, I'm going to count to 3, snap my fingers, you can separate your hands, 1, 2, 3. Separate the hands, everybody else, continue to go deeper as these suggestions take root in the deep subconscious mind of your neural pathways. When I count to 3, you will wake up wide awake, revitalized, refreshed, and renewed in every way, understanding you have now tapped, with my assistance, the power of your subconscious mind. All suggestions will be removed except for the ones that are beneficial to you moving forward towards your goals in life. 1, 2, 3, heads up. And take a deep breath. Stretch. How do you feel? Feel good? Guys, I'm going to tell you that if you take this power that resides within you, you can become your own master of your own thoughts. Master of your own thoughts. I've taught this all over the world. And you can do it. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care if you are a housewife. I don't care if you are a speaker. I don't care if you're a hairstylist. I don't care if you're a carpenter. You can take this power that I demonstrated, and you can instantly access your mind through repetition. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Do you believe you can do it?
Yes, sir.
If you can't do it, I can't do it for you, but I can show you how to do it. Because I'm going to tell you something that, remember I said you're only born with 2 fears, right? What if you had no fear? So if I put a board up here, and it was 12 inches wide and 12 feet long, and I asked you, could you walk across that? You could, right? Anybody?
Yes.
Watch. That's all you have to do. Anybody else can do that?
Yes.
If I were to put you in a state of hypnosis and tell you that that board is suspended between 2 20-story buildings, I'm going to tell you what happens. The subconscious mind is incapable of differentiating between what is imagined and what is real, just like we just did. It became integrated into you locking your hands together. What you imagined became real. So if I can teach you to lock your hands together, why can't you be a millionaire? Why can't you do everything else you want to do? If it can happen that fast, how fast can everything else happen? But if I were to put that person in a state of hypnosis and say, walk across the board, but it's suspended between 2 20-story buildings, guess what they can't do? They can't walk across the board. Why? Because the subconscious mind is incapable of differentiating between what is imagined and what is real. It really thinks it's what? Between 2 20-story buildings. So is that fear real or imagined? It's imagined? It's both. It's imagined, but it's real to them. They're scared. I'll give you another example. And I won't knock any people out. I'm going to give you another example. You got somebody back there going, where's me? All right. You know, hypnosis is fun. It's an interesting thing. It's a science. It's very interesting because when I go out a lot. I live downtown. I'm not drinking all the time, but I go, everyone always thinks, I go out a lot. I like to listen to music, meeting people, and everything else. Like, don't look into Jim's eyes. He's the hypnotist. You know, I have trouble with eye contact, not because I don't want to have the eye contact. Don't look into his eyes. I've seen him on YouTube. He's knocking people out. So it's kind of a curse. So if you look at the subconscious mind, I'm going to give you a real quick example that makes a lot of sense to you. It totally makes sense to you. And do we have any yogis in the audience? No, we don't. Okay, good. All right. Because I always get the yogi when there's a big crowd. Okay, well, you can do it. Okay. Speed your heart rate up right now. Go. For most of you, you can't do it. I know, we always get the guy that can do it. For most of you, you can't do it. Sweat. Can't do it. Kick your adrenal glands in. Can't do it. But if you were to have a dream tonight that there was an intruder in your home and that intruder was going to cause you harm with a knife, you would wake up. Cardiovascular system. Pop, 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 pop. Right? Sweat. Adrenal glands. But there's nobody there. There is no more of a threat at that point than there is right now. So why can't you control those physiological processes right now? Because you're thinking with your conscious mind. When you dream in the subconscious mind. When you learn advanced mind strategies, you move the critical factor away and you drop straight into the subconscious mind. If you were programmed to be a millionaire, it would really think you are, just like there was an intruder there. And all the reticulating, activating system, everything would kick in. If you program that you're attracted to people, they'll be attracted to you. If you program that you're healthy, just like me, with the brain surgery, and the heart attack, and the heart surgery, boom, it thinks you're healthy. So, is that what you want? A healthy body? Why are you worried? Why are you confirming what you don't want? I don't want to be sick. You don't ever say you don't want to be sick. You're confirming you're sick. You want to be healthy. And then you implant it in your unconscious. It says, oh, is that what you wanted? To be healthy? Oh, is that what you wanted? To be rich? Oh, is that what you wanted? To be loved? And you now encompass, embrace, and harness the most powerful tool that you possess sitting right there, right now. So, thanks everybody. Much love.